You might have heard about some of the big changes in TV news. One of the main TV news channels in America, called Fox News, is very upset with Tucker Carlson. Tucker used to be a famous host on this channel, but recently Fox News claimed Tucker did something wrong. He broke his contract. Now, what's a contract, you didn't ask? It's like a promise or an agreement between two people or groups, and because of this, Tucker decided to start his own show, but not on TV, on Twitter. Now, all this started a few weeks ago. Fox News stopped Tucker's show because of a serious problem. Someone accused Tucker of spreading false information about the elections. That's called misinformation. Could you imagine the trouble that might have caused? But Tucker didn't let this stop him. He came back on Twitter with a new platform for his show. This upset Fox News even more, who think Tucker broke their agreement. The man who makes sure Fox News follows the law, Bernard Gugar, was not happy. He wrote a very serious letter to the people who helped Tucker with legal problems. In the letter, he was very clear, saying Tucker broke his promise. This was after Tucker shared a part of his new Twitter show, which might cause more legal problems. How do you think Tucker might have felt about this letter? This legal issue isn't simple. It's not just about an agreement that was broken. It's also about a very important rule in America, the First Amendment. And I'm sure you know what that is. It's a part of the Constitution that allows everyone to say what they want, freely. Tucker's legal helper, Brian Friedman, thinks Fox News is breaking this rule. He believes that Fox News is trying to stop Tucker from speaking just because he's doing it on social media. Isn't it strange, Friedman says, that Fox News, a company that always supports free speech, is trying to silence Tucker? A letter from Fox News, in which a news company called Axios quoted, seems to have strong legal points. It reminds Tucker that his promise, or contract, doesn't allow him to offer any services online. What does that mean? Well, it includes doing things like streaming shows over the internet, which is exactly what Tucker is doing with his Twitter show. Tucker's move to Twitter is a big deal. It's changing how we think about media and news. It's very different from how we usually watch news on TV, and that's making some people worried. This change shows a new trend where famous TV people are leaving traditional TV channels and going to social media to talk to their audience directly. How do you feel about watching news on social media instead of TV? You think that that's a good idea for hosts to directly engage with their audiences like this, or do you prefer traditional broadcast formats? These are some of the questions that this situation brings to mind. The implications of this transition are far-reaching. Notably, the freedom and reach provided by social media platforms could further polarize public opinion by enabling and amplifying unfiltered viewpoints. Moreover, the incident has a foreign policy angle as well. Shortly before Carlson's first Twitter broadcast, a major disaster took place in southern Ukraine, where a dam explosion led to widespread flooding, putting tens of thousands of lives at risk. The incident's timing, coinciding with a Ukrainian offensive against Russian forces, has led to speculation about Moscow's possible involvement. Carlson, known for his pro-Russian stance, was quick to stand by Russian President Vladimir Putin while accusing Ukrainians of perpetrating what's considered a war crime. Interestingly, amidst this media storm, a new development has unfolded that is likely to escalate the controversy even further. The renowned neuroscientist and science communicator Andrew Huberman has announced a partnership with Tucker Carlson. Details of this partnership remain hazy, but it's expected to change the dynamics of the ongoing saga dramatically. With this new twist in the tale, many questions arise. How will this partnership impact Huberman's highly respected image as a scientist? Will it provide Carlson a platform to further propagate his views? Most importantly, how is Fox News going to respond to this surprising development? In the digital age, where social media has become a mainstay in our lives, the role of these platforms in controlling and regulating political speech has become an issue of concern for a lot of people. The relationship between Americans and major technology companies is complex, teetering between reliance and skepticism. This duality manifests clearly in the results of recent surveys. In a world where Tucker Carlson takes his broadcast from the studio to Twitter and neurobiologist Andrew Huberman voices concerns about the suppression of free speech, we're faced with pressing questions about the state of public discourse in America. Can social media be a bastion for free speech when many Americans believe that these platforms have a propensity to censor users' political viewpoints? A recent survey by the Pew Research Center in June found that about 90% of Republicans and Republican-leaning individuals think that social media sites purposely block or hide political opinions that they don't like. This belief has slightly increased since 2018, when the same question was asked. Even amongst Democrats, although to a lesser extent, there is a similar belief. The survey has showed that opinions about bias are strongly influenced by political party affiliation, otherwise known as bias. Around 69% of Republicans believe that major technology companies generally favor liberal viewpoints over conservative ones. In contrast, only 25% of Democrats share this belief. However, this divide between parties goes beyond just bias and censorship perceptions. Twitter's decision to flag misleading tweets from President Trump in the summer of 2020 amplified these debates. Supporters of the former president interpreted this action as an attempt to suppress conservative speech. Thus, the question of whether social media platforms should fact-check or flag potentially misleading content has become another point of contention. Interestingly, opinions on this matter are heavily influenced by political orientation. While 73% of Democrats are in favor of social media companies identifying posts from elected officials as false or misleading, 71% of Republicans express opposition to this practice. This divergence can also be seen in the public's faith in these platforms' ability to identify misleading misleading content. A sweeping 66% of Americans express a lack of confidence in social media companies' ability to accurately identify which posts should be labeled as misleading or inaccurate. This distrust is even more pronounced amongst Republicans, with 50% of them expressing negative sentiments. Only 11% of Democrats echo this view. In the midst of this discord, it's worth considering the implications for free speech. If major social media platforms are perceived as arbiters of truth, selectively silencing certain viewpoints, then the ideals of open discourse could be under threat. Both Carlson and Huberman, though positioned on different ends of the political spectrum, have advocated for open dialogue and the unfettered exchange of ideas. When Tucker Carlson transitions from the controlled environment of a TV studio to the rough and tumble world of social media, he might find himself confronting the same challenges that concern Andrew Huberman. Will he be free to express his views without fear of censorship or suppression, or will his content be flagged and potentially suppressed? The public's perceptions and sentiments about social media companies have implications for political discourse and the overall health of a democratic society. If these platforms are seen as infringing on free speech, trust in them will absolutely decline. If they're perceived as becoming arbiters of truth, then they might be seen as overstepping their role. Whether it's Carlson's conservative commentary or Huberman's concerns about free speech, it's imperative that we continue to scrutinize the role of social media platforms in shaping public discourse. As the battle for free speech unfolds, the need for a well-informed public that can discern truth from misinformation becomes increasingly critical. In a time where we need truth more than ever, the broadcasting landscape is changing rapidly. Andrew Huberman teaming up with Tucker Carlson is an unforeseen collaboration that promises to reshape the dialogue and discourse around a myriad of issues, causing ripples of shock and intrigue throughout the media industry. Tucker Carlson, infamous for his provocative commentary on Twitter, has a history of flirting with controversial ideas and causes, some of them border on anti-Semitism. In one instance, he brazenly characterized Ukraine's president, Vladimir Zelensky, as a persecutor of Christians, who is a shifty, dead-eyed, and sweaty person that is rat-like. The extent of his audacious commentary didn't stop there. He's also been known to voice harsh criticisms towards transgender individuals and propagate conspiracy theories about UFO landings that he asserts are systematically hidden by the Pentagon. Even if you don't have strong opinions on these matters, it's important to understand the risks associated with Carlson's approach. He criticizes the mainstream liberal media in the US, which tends to present the Biden administration statements as absolute truths and oversimplifies complex issues by portraying them as just, good, or evil. In contrast, Carlson's method often generates a jumbled mix of falsehoods, partial truths, and provocative remarks. Its main intention is to bewilder viewers and to undermine their core beliefs, get them questioning. Following a significant legal case brought by voting machine maker Dominion, Fox demonstrated bravery by terminating Carlson's employment. To resolve the lawsuit, Fox agreed to pay a substantial amount of $787 million due to the network's involvement in promoting Trump's baseless allegations of election fraud as the cause of his defeat in 2020. While the legal loss and financial consequences experienced by broadcaster and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones were discouraging, they did emphasize the importance of endorsing accurate information and rebuilding public trust in the media. However, it's so important to acknowledge Carlson's recent contributions that bring a glimmer of optimism. Despite the challenges faced in combating misinformation, his latest endeavors have demonstrated a commitment to responsible journalism. By questioning prevailing narratives and pursuing a nuanced understanding of complex issues, Carlson encourages critical thinking. He fosters a healthier media landscape. It's also worth noting that the issue of media integrity extends beyond the United States, and it finds echoes in various nations worldwide, including Israel. In these different contexts, charismatic figures akin to Carlson emerge, championing similar perspectives. While their approaches may differ, these individuals attract a growing following that appreciates their viewpoints, even though there is a need for caution to ensure that offensive statements or sentiments, such as anti-Semitism, are not propagated. Overall, Carlson's role in the media landscape serves as a reminder of the significance of promoting accurate information, critical analysis, and balanced perspectives. By fostering a responsible approach to journalism, we can work towards a healthier and more informed society. The introduction of Andrew Huberman into this tumultuous equation is causing a stir. Known for his work in neuroscience and his aptitude for making complex topics accessible, his partnership with Carlson is, at the very least, unexpected. It's a stark reminder of how unpredictable and influential the world of media and communication can be. So, it's worth paying attention to the initial Tucker on Twitter show featuring Huberman. It's a key milestone in media history, marking an unexpected convergence of two distinctly different personalities and ideologies. As we anticipate its arrival on our screens, we should brace ourselves for the ensuing dialogue and debate, which are sure to have profound implications for how we digest and engage with information in the future. This roller coaster ride of a career took an abrupt twist when Carlson was unexpectedly let go of his primetime position at Fox News in April. However, the journey of this polarizing figure continues, and here we explore the intricacies of this vibrant, controversial, professional life that he had. Tucker Carlson has a career spanning decades in the media industry. He assumed a highly coveted primetime weekday evening slot on Fox News back in 2016. His rapid rise to prominence and subsequent influence over the network made him a central figure in Republican politics, earning him the title of the most powerful conservative in America, and that was by Time magazine in 2021. This title was attributed not just to his sharp political discourse, but also his exceptional viewership ratings, which soared higher than any cable news program in the key 25 to 54 age demographic. The success of his show, Tucker Carlson Tonight, was no doubt a testament to Carlson's commanding on-screen presence. However, his reign at Fox News did not come without controversy. No, of course not. His flair for debating contentious issues and propensity for engaging with conspiracy theories brought him both massive viewer engagement and severe backlash. One thing that stood out about Carlson was his habit of questioning the effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines. He even compared the requirements for getting vaccinated to experiments in Germany during the 1940s. Yeah, these controversial statements appealed to some of his viewers, but they made many feel uncomfortable, including some advertisers. Carlson's criticisms didn't stop at public health issues. His caustic comments on immigrants in 2018, stating that they would make the U.S. poorer and dirtier, sparked outrage and prompted an advertiser boycott. Similarly, his dismissive comments on the Black Lives Matter movement of 2020 further stirred the pot of public opinion, making him a figure of contention in the discourse on race relations. Carlson's career at Fox News took a dramatic turn in April when he was unceremoniously dismissed. This followed a settlement in which parent company Fox Corp agreed to pay $787.5 million to Dominion Voting Systems, thereby averting a potentially disastrous defamation trial. Dominion, a producer of voting machines, has taken legal action against Fox over the channel's coverage of false claims that the machines rigged the 2020 election. Interestingly, Carlson was expected to testify in the Dominion trial, and messages revealed during the lawsuit that he conceded the allegations about voter fraud were unfounded. He also expressed a passionate dislike for former President Donald Trump, a sentiment markedly different from his on-air portrayal. In the aftermath of his abrupt departure from Fox News, Carlson responded by making a different 2-minute video. In it, he condemned television debates as a platform where dishonest individuals silenced those speaking the truth. The bold move, indicative of the no-holds-barred attitude that has come to define Carlson's career. Unfazed by his termination, Carlson announced plans to revive his show on Twitter, dubbing the platform as the last stronghold for free speech. His announcement was coupled with a denouncement from mainstream media, demonstrating his continued commitment to stirring that pot of conventional thought. While the details of his new show remain under wraps, the transition raises questions about his remaining contract with Fox. Television companies often include a non-compete clause when a host leaves, adding an element of intrigue to Carlson's next move. Then as for his political inclinations, Carlson has long been identified as a Republican, holding firm conservative views on contentious issues like abortion and gun control. Despite his revealed personal antipathy for Trump during the Dominion case, his on-air support for the former president was a significant factor on his success. Carlson has been a lightning rod for controversy throughout his career, making headlines for his contentious statements on race, LGBTQ rights, and well, more. His description of the deadly riots on the U.S. Capitol on the 6th of January 2021 as a mostly peaceful chaos drew criticism from both sides of the political aisle. As we delve into this narrative, we're also going to explore an intriguing alliance with Andrew Huberman, an esteemed neuroscientist who could illuminate new avenues for understanding of neuroscience. Carlson's involvement with the controversial situation involving Kyle Rittenhouse offers a pretty good place to begin. Rittenhouse, who was 17 years old at the time, was involved in an incident where he harmed 2 individuals supporting the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020. That event caused a divide amongst the nation, with differing opinions on the actions of the teenager. Carlson, known for not avoiding controversial topics, supported Rittenhouse. He described Kenosha, the location of the incident, as a chaotic place where lawlessness prevailed, in a tone underlying disbelief. Carlson questioned, "How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided that they had to maintain order when no one else would?" This stance, like many of his views, sparked a whirlwind of dialogue, revealing once again that he has a propensity to challenge societal norms and provoke thought. Carlson's candidness extends beyond politics. He's often stirred the pot about remarks with renowned women, unleashing a wave of backlash from many. Notable instances include advising writer Lauren Duca to resume writing about thigh-high boots rather than politics, labeling journalist Ariana Huffington as a pig, and dubbing Britney Spears and Paris Hilton as the biggest white whores in America. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Although these comments sparked widespread condemnation, they were indicative of Carlson's unapologetic frankness. Carlson was born in San Francisco in 1969. His initial foray into journalism started humbly as a fact-checker for a conservative journal. He later transitioned to the small screen in 2000, and with time, he cemented his status as a recognized figure in American television. His early presence was marked by a signature bow tie, a piece of attire that he ultimately retired in 2006. From 2001 to 2004, He represented the political right on CNN's Crossfire. However, his stint ended following the infamous encounter with the comedian and late-night show host Jon Stewart in 2004. The comedian criticized both the show and Carlson, and shortly after, Crossfire was cancelled. The journalist then joined PBS and MSNBC, leaving an indelible imprint on every platform he touched. In 2010, he co-founded the Daily Caller's political news website, maintaining a stake in the company till 2020. Seeing potential in his controversial takes and growing popularity, Fox News brought him on board as a contributor in 2009. Now, the narrative takes an interesting turn when we bring in the partnership with Andrew Huberman, a renowned neuroscientist. Huberman's work challenges the traditional understanding of neuroscience, much like Carlson's views test the limits of conventional thinking. Their partnership brings together two different spheres of society, honestly: the journalistic world of controversy and the scientific world of discovery. Huberman's research reveals fundamental truths about human nature, giving us tools to navigate through the labyrinth of societal norms and expectations. His insights could liberate many by uncovering personal truths, which can bring about profound change when understood and acted upon. With Carlson and Huberman working together, we can get a new way of looking at the arguments Carlson keeps causing. Huberman knows a lot about how the brain works, and they can give us a different and interesting point of view. If they team up, it might change the way that we understand these arguments, and we're not going to be so influenced by what the computer algorithms expect us to think. We can get closer to the real truth by doing this. As they unravel these truths, their partnership is set to influence a new era in media. That could propel us to question, rethink, and comprehend the world around us. In many ways, they're pioneers in their fields, pushing the boundaries of our understanding. As we await the fruits of this unique collaboration, we can only expect them to challenge our perspectives and enrich our knowledge.